Hello everybody, Tiny Chibis, and this should be 5, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm gonna talk some more people. That dude's a butt. It's that Marjorie lady.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Personal?
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
I don't have any more hints. Yep. Alright.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Alright.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
I'm just kind of walking about. I'm not too sure how long. I'm gonna see how long it's gonna take me to get to talk to people and get as many options as I can through with using, you know, the peoples, you know? Oh, there's Milton again. Hey Milton, I'm taking your shit. I don't like you, so. Where's your girlfriend, by the way? She's somewhere in here, isn't she?
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedience.
Who's this dude walking about?
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Oh.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Life. Still haven't said anything. No. Personal. Let's use it. He is healthy. He's good.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
You took a long ass trip, didn't you? This dude.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you.
He's having
The flames are
constipation,
under
I
my
think.
skin, burning away.
Alright, I don't think there's anything I can do for now. Personal questions? How long did
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Which is kind of true, really. The more higher up you are, the least likely you're on the front line. Because those who are of higher rank tend to stay back.
Goodbye for now.
While there's some of the lower ranks in the front lines.
On every street corner. The day he rooted.
And depending on your occupation, depends on where you sit. And since
Good
you're,
evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
since he
Dr.
was a
Reed,
medic,
is it?
he
Oh,
might
sorry, I
not
must
be as
apologize for my
as
behavior.
line
What do
as
you mean?
I
some
was not
others might have
myself in
picked.
the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you. I'm
Not
afraid.
to like.
You remained perfectly
Well, let them
nice
talk.
and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Where was I in the process? Nice. I gotta finish talking to him.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Corruption?
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Probably.
People are
Despair?
still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Mac.
What is the
Situation
general
dots?
situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Clay Cox. Clay Cox. Where did I hear that name before?
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
He's a preacher man, and essentially what he just said was because he's a preacher man in the bad side of town, people will leave him alone because he's like, hey, look, there's a preacher man, leave him alone. After all, you don't really want to attack somebody who's doing the work of the Lord. You know, it just kind of seems like an asshole thing to do.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Yeah, so he does good work.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest, and then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke. Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Alright.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
No, what I was gonna talk about, like, because depending on where what you do and stuff like that, depends
It's
on
locked.
where you were ended up seated in the military and whatnot. Since,
It's there again.
what is his name? Jeffrey? Jason? What is your name? How do you bring up the menu? I was gonna push. I almost pushed the button. That had I done it, I would have been very pissed with myself. No. Oh, look, they get to want to watch them interact for like a minute, maybe.
You are going to reveal all your secrets to me, even the darkest thoughts in your heart.
My blood and soul. They belong to you now.
The life running in your veins. This dead flesh needs it.
Oh, please spare me, Dark Queen. Spare your obedient slave.
They're well, he's role playing. She might be crazy. He likes her. And she's crazy and she thinks she's a vampire. I don't think she's a vampire.
On every street corner.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Daily routine.
I'm just gonna let them continue talking for a bit. It makes him happy,
Good
so
evening,
that's
miss.
fine.
I'm
Oh.
Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
What did I do? What the hell? Ah! I didn't mean to pull this up. Why did this come up? Oh, Jonathan Reed. That was his name, though. Okay, where was I in my thought process? Oh, yes. So, Reed is he's an officer medic. So he's a pretty high-ranking official, and he's a medic. So he was probably like not in the front lines, but kind of close to it. Though, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could probably ask my dad about like stories about the whole situation and stuff. It's not really something I really ask him all the time, because my dad was a combat medic in the army. He went overseas sometimes and whatnot. Can you please get me out of here?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
If she was really a vampire, she would know I'm a vampire, or baby vampire, fledgling.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Well, she isn't wrong.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Personal questions?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues.
Do I need to talk
Good
to him?
evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Personal?
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could,
I mean,
I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
it is both. I don't know. Like, I have like mixed feelings on that topic because like it helps him, yes. But is it really right to lose
Goodbye
himself
for
into
now,
that?
Mr. Elwood.
It's kind of like this weird mixture of like where I kind of don't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're happy, so it's like kind of like okay. Okay then. I am not like but then again, these are actual real diseases.
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Let me break into these freaking blocks. Jeez. Don't mock me. Are there more people that I can, you know... Where am I? Oh, it's this dude over here? What is over here? Trying to Good small bag of junk screws.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
I need to go in
I
here.
cannot enter.
But this dude has.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Not afraid.
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
And, I mean, she did find us. But, you know. Look that way.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
Hopefully.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Very philosophically.
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
I don't think I have to take over anybody's brain.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
Codeine, opium, F formula. I'm kind of short on that. A formula written on the piece of paper seems complex. It needs to be analyzed. Watch, alcohol, small bottle, junk. Nothing of value in there. I know I said,
It's locked, all right.
like, I would kind of want to tempt. Said, walls.
It's locked.
Can't get in there. I don't remember. Something off that body. Also, the alarm is going off, so honestly, I probably should end the episode now. But I kind of want to do some exploring, you know? I don't think I've done some exploring before. We're gonna end the episode here, and we'll begin next time.